Now it's time to talk about the next level of why music. You are in this course because, and I apologize, I know that sometimes I might be a bit off center, I might be standing here, like if that bothers you, you might have to get used to it because I kind of, like I said, I like to freeform it, okay? Why music? The reason that you enrolled in this course is most likely because you want to write songs. If you want to play music, you can play other people's songs. But if you want to write, that's why this is a songwriting masterclass, okay? And most people want to write songs to sing them, right? I'm assuming 90 to 95% of you guys are like, well, I want to write songs that I can sing. Maybe you have a singer, but you still want to play them. You still want to stand next to the singer, play guitar and do backup or whatever if you're in a band or whatever. So why would you ever want to do this to yourself? There are millions of creative outlets. You could be a painter or a sculptor or a actor or a writer or anything. For some reason, you gravitated towards music. Okay, there's a reason that you chose music over everything else, and you might think that it's because you think that music is the ultimate language and that it's the highest form of art, or that music is the thing that connected you to your parents in some way. And that might be true to a degree, but that doesn't mean that you should have to want to write your own songs. It might be, I love going to concerts and listening to music, or I love playing covers. You want to write your own songs, and you want to play your own songs. And there's a reason. The reason is this. You're so great. What a great song. I'm so glad you wrote that song. You're awesome because you wrote that song. Clap, clap, clap. That's why you want to write music. It's that simple, okay? People make up a whole bunch of excuses as to why they want to write music. I have met all sorts of people in the music business over the years that I've been here. The people who want to sing their own songs have a screw loose, and it's not a negative thing. Sometimes it's a negative, sometimes it's positive, but the screw's always loose. And the thing is that they are drawn deeply to the fact of, I want people to clap, okay? Now, you might con yourself into thinking that you want something else, like, I just want to make people happy. No, when they clap, that's just the natural reaction, Shim. Remember you were talking about every action has an opposite and equal reaction. That's the reaction that comes because I made them so happy. So what I truly want, the type of person that I am, Shim, in my chesticles, is I want to make people happy. I want to bring joy to the world because that's what I get when I see people who make music. They bring joy to the world, and I want to bring joy to the world. I want to make people happy. Can you see how fake her smile is and how much of a liar you are if you say this? Because the truth is, you better be ready for a bitter pill. If you wanted to just make people happy, why aren't you doing this? If it was just about making people happy, why aren't you volunteering and delivering food and helping at children's hospitals if it's just to make people happy? If it means nothing to you, if you are such a Mother Teresa, if you're such a fucking saint, no. The truth is, and there's nothing wrong with it in theory, but you need to accept it and you need to embrace it, okay? So for example, you might go to the next one and go, okay, Shem, okay, fine, I want something in return, big deal. What's the big deal? Why? What? Look, so what? I want to put out something and I want to get something in return. Does that make me a sinner? No. But it goes to the next thing of, well, why? If that's the case, why don't you make a product that brings joy to people, like some sort of herbal tea with antioxidants, and then get paid money? Because then you get a nice thing back in return, right? But people don't do this. They don't do this when you deliver food to them. They don't do this when you make a nice product and you bring value to their life because they paid you money, right? It's just, this only happens with music or at the end of a performance on a stage in a microphone. That's the only time people clap. So, why music? I just want to make them love me. You might be the exception, and if you are, just skip. But the chances are you're not. And maybe there's a little part of you that I just pinged, that I just tweaked, because the truth is, the reason you picked music is because you want people to love you. And there's nothing wrong with that. The reason that most of us do anything is because we want people to love and accept us. It's human nature, and we're going to go into why it's human nature in the next course. But you have to think, okay, why do you want people to love you? Why can't it just be, well, I want people to like me, or I don't care if they love me, man. Like, bro, like, I don't care what people think, bro. Why do you want people to love you so much? Your ego. Now, I know that this might sound obvious, but your ego is not just this inflated big head thing. The ego is an entire there's a concept of an alter ego. It's an alternate version of yourself, and it exists for a reason. So you need to learn who he is or she is, figure out how to navigate that so that you can be of the best service as a songwriter. Because if you don't, you're going to write the sort of music that you hate, the sort of music that takes up space, the sort of music that sounds like this, right? This. I keep pointing to the wrong side. And this is not what you want, right? So the why is the same for everyone. You make music because you want people to love your music, which means they love you, right? And that's why you want to make it. If it wasn't that, you wouldn't do it. You'd deliver food, or you'd play in a cover band, or, you can get that response too. This is the thing as well. We're going to go to the next section, but this is the thing that people don't really think about, okay? And you really do need to think about this. And we're going to do a whole section on how it works and why and all that sort of stuff. If you, excuse me, if you wanted people to just applaud, you play in a cover band, and you'd have a drink, and you'd get laid, and you'd throw a party, and then you go back to work on Monday morning. If it was just about having fun, if it was just about the love of music and having a good time, you chose to write songs because you want to connect with other people, and the response that you want to get from them is, I love you. I just love the way you say that. I love you. I'm so glad you're here to write these songs. I'm so glad you exist. Right? There's a deep thing inside songwriters specifically, and artists of all kinds, but like a songwriter is an artist. The guy who sings songs on the weekends, cover artists, they're not artists. And there's no judgment on that. It's much easier to do that. But if you're an artist, then this is the mindset. And this goes for painters and writers and actors and everything. There's all different versions of it, but it's still the same thing. I'm going to make this stuff. It's an extension of me. So therefore, when people love it, they love me. And they're glad that I'm around to make more things like this. So that's why we create. Now, we're going to go even, I know you might be like, dude, I just wanted to learn how to string some chords together and what's what you really wanted to do is you wanted to string some chords together and learn how to write a melody on top of it. Why? So you could sing the song and people would do this and go, oh, I love you. You're great. I'm so glad you wrote that song. That song speaks to me. And you want that reaction. Your highest probability of getting that reaction is making friends with this. Understanding and embracing this. Really knowing how it works, why you're doing it, and also understanding it so that you can play to other people's egos. You are a student of the human condition. That's your job. And your language of choice is music to communicate these ideas. So you need to understand the ideas that you're working with, and you need to understand how to best communicate them. So why you will only ever be able to write songs as deep as you can go. That's why there's so much surface music. That's why there's so much music that you don't like. Because you're like, this doesn't mean anything. Because they don't know these things that we're going to be talking about in the masterclass. So please bear with me, because all of this matters. Okay? Now, let's go to the next section. I hope I didn't just break your brain. And if you're still along for the ride, next we're going to talk about how to make friends with your ego. This video could literally change your life, not just your songwriting. Click the thumbnail to find out why.